Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he was number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 3 of our, we'll probably go 3.5 hours or so, depending on how long the second half lasts, as Tampa Bay and the Atlanta Falcons. Not an absolute must-win for Tampa Bay, as we said from the top. But, you know, listen.
Pretty big win.
It's a big game. Yeah, it is a big game.
Show the percentages.
They do play Carolina twice. What'd they say?
77% chance with a win. 53% chance. So like you said, not end of the world losing, but you go from a 77 to a 53% chance. Big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And you basically eliminate yourself. If you do lose, you're probably eliminating yourself from any wild card spot. You're probably not going to get there anyway because you play Carolina twice. So if you beat Carolina, you win the division. You don't necessarily have to worry about that. But just from standings purposes, you fall to 7-7. You know, and a chance to get in a wild card, that's out the window. So they got to win. Bottom line is, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to win at home against Atlanta. You just have to.
Let me dig in here, Scott, because there's like tiebreakers. They haven't played each other yet. So I'm just thinking ahead here. All right, what if they split? Let's just say they split. They end up with the same record. So division. What do we go to? We go to division record then, right?
Yeah.
So division record as it is right now, can't make it up. They're both 2-1.
So it would be 3-2.
Now we go to conference record. Carolina's 5-3, Tampa's 5-4. This is a big game. Like if you know what I mean, like it's not just a win-lose for Tampa, but division game and conference game, Scott. Like if you're gonna lose now at this time of the year, if you're an NFL team, you want to lose to a team in the other conference. Because these tiebreakers are a real bitch and can come back to get you. Conference play is a big one. It's, you know, you don't play each other. You're not in the same division. It's conference play.
Yeah. You know, this is big in that not only would they, you know, fall behind in the division game because they would go to 2-2, they would also go to 5-5. You know, for all intents and purposes, they would be forcing themselves to have to sweep Carolina. That's really the bottom line. And you're more than likely not going to get a wild card spot. So, you know, you could lose the division based on a 4th seed, you know, tiebreaker because your conference record isn't as good. But even the division record isn't as good.
Yeah, they're not. They're on the verge, but you got Detroit. Hey, listen, Detroit are playing the Rams this week. So Detroit could get tagged with another loss as well. But this is pretty wild, Scott. I mean, the Detroit Lions are 8-5 right now. They're not in the playoffs. The Detroit Lions, the playoffs started this weekend. The Detroit Lions are not in the playoffs. And hell, it's pretty wild because just last week, the Bears were like the 1 seed in the conference, and now suddenly they're the 7 seed, and they could miss the playoffs.
Crazy.
I don't understand. I don't care how cold it is. The Bears are beating the Browns this week. I've heard a lot of people talking about the Browns this week for some reason. Wait, I'm not taking Shedeur Sanders on the road in the coldest game ever in Chicago history. No. One of the coldest games ever. I mean, crazy.
Yeah. There's not a good Browns trend, stat, whatever I could give you that suggests they're going to win that football game. You want to go anti-Chicago, I suppose, but otherwise...
Yeah, I'm not saying the Bears are a lock, but I'm not betting the Browns. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I've heard a few people. Brady said, I've heard a few people, I like the Browns this week against the Bears. And I'm thinking,
Browns have lost. Here you go. You want some bad numbers on the Browns, folks? They've lost 14 of their last 15 road games straight up. Well, what about covering the spread, Scott? They're 2-13 against the spread their last 15 road games as well. So they've only covered 1 game outside of the 1 win. They're 9-23 against the spread their last 32 games. They're 13-22-1 against the spread outside of their own division. I mean, it's just like one bad thing after another. Kevin Stefanski, the Browns, as an underdog, 14-40 straight up. They don't win games they're not supposed to. So I don't see it. I wouldn't be betting them either. 6-point teams for me.
The thing with Stefanski and Cleveland, we talk about Atlanta having talent. Cleveland have had talent over the years. On paper, there's been a few years where they're a top 5 team on paper, right? Yeah. And no one ever stays. No one's ever there. Think of the amount of good players that they've had there over the years. They've had a lot of good players, right? I mean, they were rolling along at one point.
The Baker teams
the Baker, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, the tight end. What was the tight end's name? The kid from Miami. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, Joker, yeah. The Joker.
Yeah.
The Joker was a big-time draft pick. He was a good player. You had Odell Beckham. You had Jarvis Landry. Yeah, on defense, they had one of the best defenses in the NFL. They did. Yeah. On paper, they had one of the best. They literally, they should be better. And Stefanski, it's always the quarterback's fault. But there's a pattern. They screw up draft picks all the time. They don't know what the hell they're doing at the draft table, Scott. Just point blank. They took Johnny Manziel because a homeless guy outside of a liquor store told the owner, "You surely take Johnny Manziel." And the owner was like, I agreed with him. And dude, they took Shedeur. They took Dylan Gabriel in the 4th round and Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. Who the hell does that? Yeah. And with their first 5 picks, they took 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks. They think they're drafting a fantasy football team. And you wouldn't even take 2 quarterbacks in fantasy football like that.
It's amazing. I don't know what it was.
So you draft 2 bad quarterbacks. Shedeur might be okay. Dylan Gabriel doesn't have a hope in hell of ever being a starter in the NFL. Yeah.
I'd like to know, Gabe, it all started when they, for whatever reason, said we don't like Baker anymore, even though he's taken us to the playoffs and he's a young quarterback.
He nearly beat the Chiefs, Scott, in the playoffs. They were in the game against Mahomes in the 4th quarter on the road.
Yeah. And they said, no good with Baker anymore. Let's go get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and how'd that work out?
And that's when it all went awry. Whereas if they just would have stuck with Baker,
Stefanski used to blame Baker. And I believed it at the time, and I didn't like Baker then. I like him more now, but I used to be annoyed by him like everybody else was.
Yeah, but same thing with me.
But his father said something at the time, and I swear to God, I remember at the time my take was, I said, guys, I don't even really like Baker Mayfield, but I swear to God, Stefanski's trying to make him look bad. And Baker Mayfield's father said the same thing. He said, Stefanski.
He's doing the same thing with the Sanders game, Stefanski.
Yeah, he demeans his own quarterback, Scott. Even earlier in the year, he's like, it wasn't my decision to draft him. Yeah, great confidence, coach. Great, thank you very much.
They win.
You know what I mean?
They win a game.
It's never him, Scott.
Yeah, they
you're
win
right,
a game,
though.
and he says, our offense stinks, but that's okay. The kid did well. But then starts praising everybody else. They finally win a football game, but he still can't even give the kid praise.
No, and it's never his fault. He used to blame, Baker didn't execute the play. It's stop asking him to do plays he can't do, right? You're deliberately making him look bad because you want to get him off the team. And it worked. And then you got your guy, Deshaun Watson. And then don't forget, even before Deshaun got all the happy endings and stuff, he was still sucking in Cleveland. Right? Like there's a pattern with Stefanski, right? And Baker's good elsewhere, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, and Stefanski, like, so in other words, Stefanski's telling us, Scott, for me to be a good coach, I need like Josh Allen or Tom Brady. Like, how many quarterbacks this guy gone through over the years now? Like, so unless you have a mega star quarterback, you can't win games. That's what you're telling us, Coach.
And who's the one quarterback they had that was worth anything, that had some success? Joe Flacco, right? And what did they do with him? They kicked him out. Now, I didn't want to necessarily hand the team over to him, but if you're going to draft young guys like they did, bringing back, Flacco would have been the answer.
They also signed Kenny Pickett. They also signed Kenny Pickett. So imagine, they had Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and Deshaun Watson on the team at the same time. like what a clown show. You should see their practices, guys, where they're quarterbacks. It's like the entire team. One guy takes a pass, the other guy, it's like, no one's ever going to get better doing this, right? Like this is just a circus clown show, right?
Yeah. Crazy. They don't get enough.
That's why they're a bad organization.
Yeah. And that's why
I don't like divas that say, I'm not going to play for a team, but I can understand a star quarterback saying, I just don't want to be with Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns. There's a history of failure. Let's just be real. It's a career killer.
It is. It really is.
Look at Odell Beckham. He wasn't good there, and then he won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing and now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, little Thursday night football. We got some NHL and a couple of NBA games as well. And keep an eye about that. Last I saw was a 5-point game, Iowa State, Iowa. I was sitting on the over. I put it in at 130.5. It went under, son of a gun.
62. So Iowa covers, game stays under the number.
Right.
This Iowa State team, Scott, probably the most underrated probably the most underrated basketball program in the country. But like everyone, we talk about Michigan, we talk about Duke, we talk about Arizona, we talk about UConn, Gonzaga. Hell, people talk about Purdue. They rank Purdue number 1. Oh, they're the favorites, so they're the team to beat. But Houston, Iowa State went into Purdue and beat them 70-58. They're 10-0 on the season now. They just beat Iowa 66. They didn't cover, but they won the basketball game. But Iowa State's a load. But I guess we can't say they're underrated, Scott. They are ranked 4th in the country right now. But as far as the media and the public is concerned, nobody ever talks about the Cyclones.
Yeah. That's what I said earlier, man. It's setting up for a great, NCAA tournament all the way down the line, obviously. But if you got someone like that, and they all play good defense, they can all score.
Don't count Kansas out even, Scott.
40.
When they get Peterson back, and he's back, and he starts getting into a rhythm, like Kansas will be good too.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's always there. They never win, but at least they're always there. I mean, you look at the top 8 teams. I know
it's one
Michigan's
of the few times, Scott, where I think the bracket matters this year. It's going to be really important, to get as high as you can, because this is going to be tough. There are going to be teams. All right, we've got to play the Houston Cougars in our second game. You know what I mean? It's going to be the NCAA tournament's harder than it used to be.
Yeah. If Alabama is 12th in the country right now, then you got some really good teams, right?
Yeah.
North Carolina,
those 8 and 9s are going to be really good games, and the 7 seeds are going to be the 7 seeds a 28-5 team. There's going to be some really good teams, like you said. It's going to be a fun tournament.
Yeah, can't wait. So, NBA, there weren't that many games. And again, I didn't quite get the NBA schedule. I get it for the NBA Cup games. All right, you want to clear the slate. I get that, but I don't know why
it's like the league got the week off, essentially.
Yeah, I
assumed, Scott, me too. I assumed, I'm like, wow, you got to fix. Me and Pat Foster talked about this last night after the show. I said, tomorrow night we got the football game, but I said, I assume there'll be a million basketball games. No one's played all week. Yeah. Wrong. Wrong. No. We had 4 games tonight, and we had Milwaukee and Boston, but then the same thing. A lot of big spreads tonight. Clippers hanging around late with the Rockets right now. Milwaukee beating up on the Celtics. Pelicans, Blazers, kind of blah games tonight. Like Denver and Sacramento. Big spreads tonight.
Yeah, big. Bucks beating up on the Celtics is a bit of a surprise without Giannis, obviously. I played a little hunch on Portland. I figured, what are they doing as road favorites? Yeah, exactly. They're down 24.
They're getting drilled by 21. Yeah, 132, 131.
Pelicans have 132 points with 4.5 minutes left. They're on pace for 150 points. Crazy.
So, of course, here, Scott, we got first and goal again for the Bucks, and guess who they give it to? Tucker. What the hell are they doing?
Are you kidding me?
Dude, and he's he just lost yards. They gave it to him on a 10-yard line. Guys, he's a fullback. You gave it to him on the 1, fine. You got cute. What are you doing? Yeah. You got Bucky Irving and Rashad White. What are you guys doing? What the hell's wrong with teams, Scott? Barkley not on the field on 3rd downs. What the hell's wrong with these coaches?
They overthink things. They really just overthink things. It's just don't make it harder. One of my favorite gambling mantras. Don't make it harder than it has to be. You got a winner in front of you. Just keep playing it. If you got good players, just give it to them. Don't try and trick everybody. That's the difference between a really good team. Really good teams just do what they do. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
Touchdown, Buccaneers. Another one. Devin Culp. Who had, you got Devin Culp. Dear God.
Devin Culp.
Tonight's one of these nights, man. It's like Tucker and Culp with the touchdowns.
Who is he?
Not Godwin, not Egbuka, not Evans, not Rashad White, not Bucky Irving. Sean Tucker and Culp.
7th round pick out of Washington from Devin Culp, tight end. Wow.
Get him the ball.
Get on the ball.
How many guys are standing on the bench and never get the ball? There could be stars that are on different teams or just something, you don't know. You know what I mean? Seriously, there's backup running back right now, right? You got these smart teams understand that, especially in the NBA team. A good example is Brunson with the Knicks. Nobody really saw him as a star, right?
Not like
this. He came out, you know what I mean? He came up with the Mavericks. He was playing well, but people are like, whatever, he's okay. No one really, you know what I mean? And said that, you know what, if we made him the guy, he could be the guy. He could be a star player. They saw it, they put faith in him, and he rewarded them, right?
Yeah.
The Mavericks didn't see it. Otherwise, they would have kept him.
Yeah. Of course, it helps his dad as an assistant coach on the team,
Yeah.
but he's honestly.
And it also helped that that Luka doesn't like playing with anybody, and Lowe wants to play with Luka.
Yeah, so, exactly. So it's like, all right.
I think it's more Luka doesn't mind playing with you. I think it's more you don't like playing with him. Right? Because Luka's a cool dude. It's not like his teammates dislike him, but the ball was crazy glued to his hand for 40 minutes a night.
Yeah. So Bucks didn't go for 2, and I'm okay with that. I really am. I don't like chasing points, but they were up 5 with 6 minutes left to go in the third. They kicked the extra point to go up 6.
Yeah, now it's right on the point spread, huh? These odds makers make it 5.5, Scott, and here it is at 6.
There's a 6. Over-under's up to 49.5. So, well, I tell you that they kept this number. We pointed that out. Like, it was suspiciously high when it was 0-0 or 7-0. They were keeping it in the 40s. And look,
they knew. They knew.
Yeah.
Give the computer and give them credit because, I brought it up. So me and Scott talked about 44.5, 40.5. And I jumped in, Scott. So I took both quarterbacks over passing yards, and I jumped in on the over 47.5 at the half as well. We were talking with Brady. 49.5, but I like my chances. We already got 7 right now. We're off and running. Need 14 more points to hit the over.
And we were harping on the 248.5 for Baker, right? Just before halftime, he's at 224.5, and now it's up to 289.5. So
it's a lot of football left, too.
We said it. Yeah, a lot. So not bad, not bad. All right, in-game line continues here on the grid.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 3. So we got a couple things going on, including our NFL football game with the Falcons now with the ball trailing for the first time in a little while. It is 20-14, Tampa Bay with the lead. But the Falcons coming right down the field, and they got it already at the Tampa Bay 44-yard line. So we are, it's 49.5. What are we at, 34? That is 2 touchdowns plus, but we're in kind of one of those 2-point conversion situations with a 6-point lead, but you still need 16 points. So you're going to need 3 scores. But, Gabe, I'll tell you what, I think you're going to get it. You got 5 minutes and change left to go in this third quarter. Both teams have not been stopped in a little while. I think we get when everything's said and done, I think we get to 50 points.
Look at this drop. Wow.
They had it.
Like that, this is like you get like release type stuff. He just dropped a touchdown.
Yeah.
Sills.
Wow.
Wow is right. Watch this. Like would really could have helped our yardage there in the total. But they're throwing. Everybody's wide open suddenly though. I was barely caught there. Kirk Cousins threw this one low, but right there, like the Falcon wide receiver was wide open. On this next play, wide open once again. So yeah, this thing isn't stopping right now. I said earlier in the day today, I thought like it would be like 24-23 or 24-21 or something like that. It would creep over the number. Then I just sort of got cold feet about Atlanta, but it's sort of coming kind of what I thought. Scott, a little bit higher scoring than I predicted, but this could be one of these games that comes down to a last-second field goal. Like they're completely evenly matched, these teams.
Yeah. You put the blame a lot of times on this Tampa Bay offense for their little slide here, Gabe, but you look at the points they've given up. They gave up 24.
No, their defense isn't very good either.
Saints. Yeah. 34 to the Rams, 44 to Buffalo, 28 to New England. They've given up 24 points and more in 4 of the last 5. That's they lost. The only game they won was Arizona, and they're awful. So, and they're getting torched tonight by Kirk freaking Cousins.
Yeah, exactly. And Kirk Cousins is having a career revival right now going on tonight against them.
He's buying himself. You said it jokingly, but it's true. He's buying himself another year in the NFL with this performance tonight.
No, and people think, "Oh yeah, what are you talking about?" But no, like this is his showcase. It's like, all right, you know what I mean? No, you know what? The last time we saw him start, he looked pretty good. You know, like that's the way it works. Same thing with like these career backups in the preseason. Play well in one game in the preseason, and you're good for another 2-3 years. How the hell do you think Chase Daniel, Matt Schaub, all these guys, like they stay in the league for as long as they did, right? Play well in the limited chance you get, and you buy another year. And all you need to know is you talked about it. Brady Cook, Phillip Rivers. Look at all the stiffs that are still playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
So,
not that he's a stiff, but you know what I mean?
Flacco. Yeah, right. Long as he wants to be on the bench, a lot of guys say, hey, I don't need the aggravation. Why bother? But as long as he's willing,
that's the thing. You can't be a diva. You can't be like Tannehill and say, oh, unless I'm a starter, I'm not doing this, right? Like, like I said, Tannehill could be in the NFL now if he wants to be. He said he got multiple calls to be a backup and stuff, but he didn't want to do it, right? He just want, people don't want to uproot their life and all that.
I wonder if Russell Wilson will decide, right? I'm sure someone would call and say, listen, you want to be our backup, but I wonder if he wants to do that again.
I don't think so, Scott. I don't think he's the type of character that wants to stand there either.
Yeah. His wife's
got a hell of a career
and everything. Yeah.
It's too bad his career is kind of tarnished as it is a little bit. You know what I mean? He's one of these guys that just hit the wall early. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he got old fast somehow. You know what I mean? Like he started to look like he was 40 when he was like 32 type of deal. I don't know. It was very strange. Cause thing with Russell Wilson, people like for younger people, the guy was a hell of an athlete, man. Like he couldn't play Major League Baseball, right? Like he was drafted, played Major League Baseball. He was NC State Wolfpack quarterback. They were suddenly good with him. Then he left for Wisconsin. He was a stud, Rose Bowl, Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. Like he was a star. Russell Wilson was a superstar, and it just sort of like vanished like overnight. You know what I mean? He's like a boxer or something. It just got knocked out and was never the same again.
Yeah. These scrambling quarterbacks, I remember, and I remember saying it way back when, like he stopped scrambling. And once he stopped running around and utilizing his legs and letting wide receivers get open,
best when he'd roll out and throw bombs. He was like Mahomes before Mahomes, actually, in those days.
Yeah. And once he stopped doing that, you saw the production drop, and he was on the way of being a Hall of Famer. I don't think he is now, but he was on the way to it. But I don't think he'll get there.
But they put everyone in the Hall of Fame now. Yeah. Is Jeff Kent a Hall of Famer?
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out all the action. We'll put the football aside for just a second here. It is still 20-14. Atlanta just punted, so Bucks have the ball at their own 30-yard line. 6.5, and now it's 47.5. I will say now you're under the 2 touchdowns. Now it's only 2 scores, but just know a 2-point conversion could be thrown in there. Big hockey game tonight, Gabe. I wanted to throw that at you. What'd you think with Florida and Colorado? Avs just scored. It was 1-1. I was going to say, and it's 2-1 now after 1, laying minus 520. Florida's got the backup goaltender in there, but again, I think I heard you say earlier you like Colorado laying the 1.5. You're in a pretty good spot right now.
I said Colorado in regulation just because they were minus 250. It was such a big number, but who would have ever imagined, that the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions would be, plus 320 right now, only down a goal. Right? I mean, it sounds like how much of a juggernaut Colorado is right now. Buffalo up 1-0 on Vancouver right now as the Canucks continue to struggle. Thatcher Demko back. Oilers up 3-1 on the Red Wings. Red Wings have been playing a lot on the Canadian coast and stuff. Who's going to catch up to them? But how about the Winnipeg Jets, Scott? This team is just blowing up this year. They were the President's Cup trophy winners last year. They had the best record in the National Hockey League. And Hellebuck's not there, but, I don't know. It's almost Cincinnati Bengal-like. It's like a team, they lost their quarterback, but losing a goalie isn't quite like losing a quarterback. Like, you shouldn't be this bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if suddenly you're exposed like this, that, we don't have our goalie and we suddenly suck. They sucked before he got hurt. This is, there's not a good team in Canada. There's Canadians are all right. The Senators are all right. They're not real threats, and everyone else sucks.
They've won 2 games, I think it is, since Hellebuck has gone down. I think it'll be 2-7 or 2-8, assuming they lose tonight.
Yeah, they're literally now. I talked about it earlier. They're going to be like 5-17 their last 22 type thing. Like, it's bad. Like, it's bad. Like, the wheels are falling off bad for them.
And this is the team, you said it. They have a President's Cup winner. They didn't lose 4 or 5 games. Like, they've only won 5 games.
They were the best team in the league last year in the regular season. And it's not just last year. They've been an elite team for the last couple of years. Yeah. The bubble has burst, like, just in a bad way for them. They're not going to make the playoffs.
I was going to say, at this point. barring something crazy. It's just right now they're sitting in 29 points, tied for next to last place, a point behind or ahead of Nashville, tied with St. Louis. You're not going to catch. You're not catching, obviously, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. Could you catch Chicago? You're only 3 points away, I suppose. But, yeah, my Bruins beating them up tonight 6-3. Not bad.
And we have the Olympics around the corner, too. The Olympics start pretty soon, so won't be Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah, well, no. But that's they probably can't wait for that, just to get away from it.
USA goalie is kind of the strength. I would say Spencer Knight. If I'm the team, if I'm USA, I think Spencer Knight's the best U.S. goalie right now.
Well, that's a lot of pressure on a kid. Demko's back, right? Or he's coming back this week, I saw.
Demko's playing right now. Yeah, I just said, Demko's playing tonight.
Right. Okay. So,
maybe
he would be the guy.
If he's healthy, the problem is they need to. I don't think Demko's in the mix personally. He's always hurt. So, and the thing is, they have to have the roster announced December 31st, which is pretty soon. We're a couple of weeks away from this right now. And put it this way, Canada admitted the other day they're already down to 30 players. So, the decisions are already kind of made, Scott. That's my point.
On a roster, 25?
Yeah. So, they said we're down to 30, and they started at 90. They had a list of 90 players, and they admitted we're down to 30. So there's you got 4 or 5 guys now battling for the last spot. You know what I mean? Last spots on the team. So, they're not going to make a rash decision of, a guy had a good 2 weeks. That's my point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, yeah, from December 12th to December 23rd, Demko played well. Right? They're going to say, we put him on the roster. What if he pulls his hamstring or he gets hurt again? We can replace him.
You're saying don't play, right? You're playing don't play.
If you're Vancouver, I don't know why they just gave him a freaking 5-year contract extension. I would trade him. I would trade him personally. I would trade everybody if I was the Canucks at this point. I would just blow it up. But yeah, interesting to see. But yeah, the U.S. There's a strength at goaltending for the U.S. So it's not the end of the world for Swayman's an American as well. U.S. There's a lot of U.S. goalies in the league.
Yeah, he's okay as a Bruins fan. Nothing special.
I wouldn't want him as the goalie against Canada in a gold medal game.
Yeah.
and I should note too, I brought up Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight should be on the team, but Jake Ottinger will be the number one guy. Dallas Stars Jake Ottinger, right? So it's not like I said, you got a premium of depth, right? Almost every goalie in the U.S. Seriously, almost every goalie right now in the NHL that isn't European is American. There's not that many Canadian starting goalies right now in the National Hockey League.
It's kind of weird. Wonder why.
Yeah, yeah. Growing up, remember, even it was always a French guy from Quebec, right? Yeah. It was always a Quebec, like the movie Slapshot, right? It's changed, right? Finland became the goaltending sort of kingpins. Used to be Quebec, but Finland is if you look at the goalies from Finland, every team is almost Finnish. There's a few Russians now. Fowler, we talk about Fowler on the Montreal Canadiens, making his debut tonight. It's just Americans over and over at the goaltending position.
Yeah. I didn't play Edmonton tonight. I had them the other night thinking they would bounce back, and they freaking lost outright in overtime to Buffalo. They scored 3. I said, and then sure enough, tonight they're beating Detroit. Should have stuck to my guns and said they're going to turn things around. But
no, the Red Wings have been on the road for too long. All right, The Falcons just fumbled, if this counts. If it stands, I think it will. But yeah, this Fowler kid, like I said, he's the Jacob Fowler. He was a star at Boston College. He's a stud goalie. Made his debut tonight in the National Hockey League. He's only 21 years old, but he's been with the Canadiens farm system, playing in the AHL for about a year now. Last year, he played a bit in the playoffs, and now he's been playing this year. Canadiens goaltending has been sucking, but he's from Melbourne, Florida, of all places.
Wow.
It's like Austin Matthews being from Phoenix. Like I said, there's USA hockey is really on a roll. It really is. The American hockey, junior youth programs have done an excellent job.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I guess growing up, maybe Florida Panthers or Tampa Bay fans, it's not like they haven't had good success, with hockey down in Florida. But if you got talent,
All started with Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky to California. Yeah. And then it started in L.A. A couple of years later, there were rinks in L.A., and you think, yeah, big deal. Okay, so hockey became popular in L.A. No. And then about 8 years later, a team from L.A. actually won a big hockey junior tournament in Quebec, right? And then 15, 20 years later, a kid named Austin Matthews from Phoenix that grew up in the desert. He's the number one scorer in the NHL. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, goalie from Florida. Like, it's real. Like, there's been, because before it used to be all the American players were always from the same place. Like, I played against these kids, like myself, when I played. Like, it was always like Boston area, upstate New York, like Lake Placid, and/or Minnesota, Minneapolis area, the state of Minnesota. Right. Like the youth, the youth sort of kingpin hockey places. Now it really is everywhere. Now, like Las Vegas, Scott, there's hockey rinks everywhere in Vegas now and stuff, and hockey's popular,
Yeah. And hockey is getting more and more popular. So you're getting the better high school kid that now is going into hockey.
Real athletes are playing hockey. Yeah. And now you have NIL in hockey, NCAA. Kids are going to see, what? I can make $1 million, $2 million, play hockey at Penn State? Really?
Yeah. All right, Bucks on the move at the Atlanta 14. We'll update the line when we come back.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders. Yep. 250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe talking a little NFL, a little hockey, some NBA as well, college hoops. Let's bring in our good buddy Tom Vecchio, talk a little NFL, maybe some hockey with him as well. He's a big hockey fan. What's going on, Tom? How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Little more scoring than I initially anticipated in this game overall. We're dealing with a live total sitting at 47.5. I will say I don't want to say I pulled a Gabe move, but I did go with the tease, taking the Bucks to plus half a point, and then it up to 49 or 48.5 and under on that. So a little bit of a right now.
How much did you debate it? Me and Scott, I'm sure you debated it, Scott. How much did you debate it, Tom, about teasing it to the over-under, thinking, all right, do we get to 37? Because I was thinking the same thing. My plan was to tease this game to the under. And it has never been my thing. I hate unders, but these primetime games go under. It's been a little higher scoring than I thought it was going to be, but I pulled a curveball. I pulled a fast one at the end. I was like, I think we can get to 37. Like, I trusted it more to go over than, but I don't think it's going to get to 50 still. But Tampa are going to have, look, there's just a penalty right now. It's going to be first and goal.
Yeah. My expectation was like, there's always a part of me, especially with the Falcons, like, if they score 10 points and the game, I wouldn't be surprised. So exactly. I'd be more worried about getting to the points than keeping it under. Listen, if this game goes over and it ends up with 55 points, I mean, in theory, that's good for other props or bad for this, but I would rather just side with the under when it's all said and done.
I said the same thing. Remember, Scott? At the top of the show, I said, it wouldn't surprise me if this game was 27-26, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was like 17-10 or 20-10, and like, you never know what you're going to get. But I kind of got the feeling with Kirk Cousins, he was going to sling it around a bit, and it could open up a bit.
Yeah.
And they give it to Tucker
Tampa
again.
Bay.
What the hell is up with this, guys? What's up with that, Tom? Like, why is Sean Tucker getting the ball all the time?
So they like him. He's a legit good runner. If, like, digging into some of the coach speak and the usage, personally, I don't think Rachaad White is great. It should be Bucky Irving, and then Sean Tucker's that big body back. I don't know if that's a catch for a touchdown in the back there to Godwin, but we're getting a lot of scoring, and this is based off the turnover. They just flashed Bijan on the screen. So
it is touchdown Buccaneers. Touchdown Buccaneers.
Wow. Godwin has got it.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Chris Godwin.
So now I think they're going to go for 2, right? Up 12, 13 and a half minutes left. Again, I wouldn't have a problem if they went for 1. I don't, love going for 2.
They are, yeah. They're leaving the offense on the field.
Yeah. I'd still go for 1. Okay. I'm not a big believer of going for 2.
Me too.
Really happy.
Me too.
Just
there's no reason to. Why? Whatever. Dude, just kick the extra point. You're up 13 points. Like, don't overthink things.
The question becomes
to come off the field happy. That's my main thing too.
Yeah. The question becomes is ultimately, like, this. You have to be able to say, like, our defense, we believe you can stop the Falcons from scoring 2, not just 1, 2 touchdowns. That's what it should come down to.
Yeah. I mean,
this helps Cousins' passing yard props, though. What are we up to? Anyway?
Oh, yes. Right.
So it does look complete. Godwin got it. That means it's actually an octopus. The NFL play, the 6 catch and then the 2-point conversion, both to Chris Godwin. That's the octopus play.
Oh my God, he just pulled it off. Yeah, the octopus.
Wow.
And I know a lot of people.
We don't see that prop though. I only see it for the Super Bowl generally.
Super Bowl, that's it.
It's also, I saw it in week 1. I saw it in week 1. I saw someone, some viral tweet where someone said there will be a no octopus in every single game. Each odds were like, minus 5,000 and for the no, and he just parlayed them all together. So it's out there if you look for it on specific books.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not common though, eh? It's true.
No.
You don't see that. You figure that it would be.
And Super Bowl.
What are the odds generally? For the yes,
no
is
minus 5,000. So they're not going to give you a fair number on the yes side of things. It's only plus 1,000.
Yeah, it's like 8 plus 850, Scott, plus 1,100, 10 in that range. 8 to 1, 11 to 1 type thing.
Yeah. It makes sense if you're a running back. Wide receivers, I think it would be harder, but running back, okay, you go for your own 2-yard line. You hand the
quarterback,
ball off.
Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts did it. Yeah, Jalen Hurts did it, didn't he, in a playoff game a couple of years ago? Yep. QB sneak, right? They just pushed it in twice in a row. QB sneak touchdown, QB sneak 2-point conversion.
So now what are we up to for this total? It's up to, I don't see 49 and a half.
Right?
Well, let's look at Atlanta props, guys. What about the here? They got the ball here. They're gonna have to throw the ball. They're gonna have to move the ball. Bijan's catching passes out of the backfield still, guys. What do you think, Tom?
Absolutely, the over 83.5. He's got 69 now. Like, the Kyle Pitts number is crazy. Like, betting for any player,
139.5
is crazy.
Wow.
But I know Robinson just fumbled, but this is the time to be like, hey, he's still the guy. Like, 75% of the touches should be going between him and Kyle Pitts. Like, that's just what comes down to. With no Drake London, they're basically devoid of talent. Sills is dropping passes. Darnell Mooney's not the guy. Just go right back to Robinson. Forget about this fumble. Crazy play. Just go right back to him. He'll break off a 15-yard run, and you're at the line.
That or go Kirk Cousins. He's at 219. They're saying 299 and a half. I mean, 80 yards. Oof. That's a lot. 81 yards. That's a lot in one quarter. That's 2 drives, right? Realistically.
We already double dipped on Kirk Cousins, which, it's funny. We're like anti-Kirk Cousins betting on the Bucs coming into this game. But, Tom, his prop was 207.5 yards tonight. And this game's kind of going away. I thought he'd be playing from behind. I thought he's not going to play. This might be his last primetime start of his life, actually. I figured he would just go out here and have fun. There's no pressure on the Falcons anymore. So I took the over 207.5, but then I jumped in again in game, as we talked about before the half. I got 260.5. What'd you say it is now, Scott?
299 and a half.
All right, so I got a fair number here. I just need another 41 yards.
The Bucs, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this term, but the Bucs are turning into a bit of a pass funnel team, which is a term a lot of people use from the fantasy side of football, where they're great against the run. They've always had a great run defense since Todd Bowles has been there, but they're susceptible to the pass. And we have seen it over Jacoby Brissett even had a halfway decent game a couple of weeks ago. We're seeing big games from Josh Allen, big games from Drake May. They are susceptible against the pass, so Kirk Cousins makes sense.
All right, talk with Tom Vecchio. We get some more thoughts from him, NFL. Take a peek at the NHL board as well with Tom. In-game live continues here on the grid.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders. Yep. 250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid, closing out hour number 3. Scott and Gabe checking with our good buddy, SportsGrid host Tom Vecchio, who you see here all the time here on the grid. So, final chance at NFL here, wise. Before, maybe we'll talk a little pucks here with you, Tom. 13.5 is the number right now. 49.5 is the total. It's 28-14. Falcons do have the ball, but they're on the move. They're at the Tampa Bay 44. They are throwing the ball. You know, the Kirk Cousins over passing props we talked about is looking halfway decent right now, doing what we expected. So, any final thoughts on this football game?
More points than I anticipated. You know, I see it jump up to 51.5 as the Falcons just picked up a first down via Kyle Pitts. You know, at this point, the expectation is that they're going to score, and frankly, the Bucs need to score. They need to keep scoring. And I said this coming in, you know, on various shows today. Like a part of me with Mike Evans back and McMillan back as well, like they want to go out there and like just pedal to the metal because like they need some internal team confidence moving into the final few weeks of the season. Their offense has been kind of sputtering. It's just like we got to score some points. Like the offense is back, everyone's fully healthy. Let's go out and try and drop 30, 35 points, regardless if we're up by 1 score or 3 scores. So I would lean on the over. It's jumping up to 54 at this point.
All right. My over Tampa Bay team total, by the way, did hit. I just realized that over 24.5. Not bad. All right, so I'm 2 for 2. I'm looking pretty good, except for my Chris Godwin over prop. That's he's got the touchdown, but he doesn't have the yards. That's the only thing. Big game in hockey tonight. Game right, Florida and Colorado. Avs lead at 2-1 over the Panthers. Early second period. Who'd you have in that one?
I actually didn't have any action on that. I was on Kirill Marchenko over 2.5 shots. He didn't come through, of course, with didn't come through with that. He had 2 and then 2 missed shots.
Touchdown Robinson.
Yep, touchdown Bijan. So we're
Bijan
seeing
Robinson. Wow, just like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're flying.
Touchdown Robinson. We got a track meet going on here. The game officially goes over the number.
Yeah. Yes.
It does. We're up to 55.5 at this point, which is, I think, far more than anyone anticipated when it comes to this. But as for the NHL, I will say there's a ton of parity across the league right now. Like half these teams are being booked as underdogs, and they're winning every single night. So I would not be looking to lay heavy juice with favorites outside of a team like Colorado, who I think are clearly 2 steps ahead of better than anyone else in the league. And Gabe and Scott, you guys know this. Like, I think the NHL is in a great spot right now in terms of the league because it's so competitive. But the league is also really interesting this year because we have this built-in 3-week break for the Olympics. So I think things will settle in as the season goes on and more favorites will start to win. But right now it's a toss-up every night. Any team can win, and that's honestly great.
Jacob Fowler wins his NHL debut 4-2. Canadians beat the Penguins tonight 4-2. Yeah, Canadians called up the goalie Fowler, Tom. Boston college stud, only 21 years old. But
the comparisons about the previous Habs goalies in their first starts against the Penguins.
Against the Penguins for whatever reason.
And it's happened again.
Yeah, basically every goalie. Ken Dryden made his NHL debut against the Penguins. Patrick Waugh made his debut against the Penguins. Who was the other one? Was it Carey Price? Who was it? Carey Price? No, it wasn't Price. It was another one. But I saw the same thing about all the. I was like, yeah, but did they all win? And we talked about it, Tom. It was weird. The Canadians got caught in a big accident in Pittsburgh today.
Yeah, saw that. Got delayed.
And they were late for the game. They had to delay the start of the game. They didn't even get a warm-up, and they were up 3-0 after the first period. I'd skip the warm-up if I was Coach Martin St. Louis for the next game. It's all right, guys. I'm skipping the warm-up.
It's true.
It's like batting practice in baseball. Who needs it? Just score 8 runs, you know? Same thing. Interesting they had his debut on the road, versus being at home in Montreal. Maybe they figured less pressure on him being on the road. It was
almost necessity after what happened the other night against Tampa. They were just enough was enough. They were in a panic about the season and the goalie situation, and you just nailed it as well. There's no place to have more pressure than make your first start to Montreal. Yeah, Montreal, come on. Let him get his feet wet on the road here and get some confidence before you drop him at home, Right.
Tomorrow, I will say, Blackhawks getting plus money on the road is not too bad against the Blues. I think the Blues are just not worthy of a minus 150 price. I would not bet the Blues on the money line. It would be Blackhawks or pass tomorrow night.
Yeah. St. Louis minus 150 and Chicago plus 125. And Blackhawks coming off a nice win the other day. Who they beat yesterday?
Rangers.
I forget who it was. Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Tom, good job as always, man. Do appreciate it. I know you and I are going to be working in a couple of weeks on Sunday, so we will see you then, and I'm sure we'll talk before then. Tom, thanks. You're on the grid. We'll pump it up. Big bye.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 4 of our 4-hour extravaganza, right? Heading to closing time, which about a half hour or so. So we got plenty of time to put some bets in, looking at this football game. So not over. Every time we think maybe, just maybe, but nope, the Falcons, they didn't get the extra point, Gabe. I wasn't paying attention. We were yapping there with Tom. Did they go for 2 or did they just miss the extra point? Did you see?
You know what? I didn't see them miss the extra point.
Yeah, me neither. We were yapping. So let me, I'll check their play-by-play and see if it was just a missed or touchdown, right? I see that.
And
They
missed
went
2
for 2?
point? Yeah, that's stupid to go for 2. We
Why
ought
would
to
you
bitch
do
about
that?
it. I'm sweating out right now St. Joseph's and Syracuse. We got under 144.5, and St. Joseph's plus 13 as we gave about an hour and a half ago. There's a minute left right now. And it was like a 3-point game. Syracuse starting to pull away right now, but we're still looking pretty good. I might be able to bag another under here. So we're at 131 with a minute left. 7-point game right now. 69-62. So we got plus 13 and under 144.5. I think we can hit both here.
Yeah, you should get at least the 1, right? You should get the 13.5, I would think. So I can't bet that one here in New York at Syracuse. Why? I mean, listen, I've seen this before, Gabe. I disagree with it. I believe you can't win a game without tying a game first, and I just don't know why you're down 8. Why are you going for 2?
They just intercepted Baker Mayfield at midfield, so they would only be down 7 right now. Now you got to go for 2 again. You're going to be forced to go for 2 again.
Right. Listen, you want to go for 2 when you're down 1, final minute or 2 or 3 minutes, whatever. Okay, but I don't want to put myself in a position of now having to get 2 just to tie. I want to have to get 2 to win, and I don't want Tampa Bay coming off the field, as I said before, all excited because they stopped a 2-point conversion. It kills your momentum. Now they picked them off. So, but I
pass for
like
Baker Mayfield.
I don't like it.
Number 1, he threw into double coverage. Number 2, it was grossly underthrown. Number 3, didn't have a hope in hell to begin with. Right. It's like he made his mind up and he already threw it, and he was throwing it no matter what. And that was as easy as interception you're going to get if you're an Atlanta Falcon. Like, he literally went right to him, and Robinson's a stud. They give the ball to Robinson on first down. He picks up like 16, 17 on the ground. How many combined yards is he up to? I got scared off by the 144.5. That's what it was in game at one point. Like, God, what's he up to now? It's like, it's got to be insane.
Got to be pretty close to it, right?
Fantasy football playoffs have begun tonight too. So people with Robinson are liking life right now. He's racking up the stats.
90 yards rushing, 82 yards receiving. Yeah, he's over his number, right? What was the number?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 172.
Oh yeah, way over.
Yeah, it was 120. But remember, I got burnt like 2 weeks ago when they played. Remember, I was pretty sure it was him. It was 121.5, and he got to 120.
Yeah.
It's
That's
that,
right.
It's that sharp.
I do remember that.
Yeah, remember that? I was like, I need one more yard. Like, and it was 120.5. Like, pretty sure it was him. I don't do that one a lot unless you're a star. Like, was it him?
Who played last Thursday? It wasn't this.
I don't know if it was last Thursday.
Was it Monday?
Was it? I'll randomly remember. But you remember it was on the show, and you even said, Gabe, you're not going to believe it. It ended 120. And I'm like, I can't believe that. I got 120.
Yeah, I remember I pointed it out to you, like, oh, no, Gabe.
I don't know if it was him. You're right. Who the hell was it? Who's another star back? Like,
Monday night was Eagles-Chargers. Oh,
was it Dalvin Cook?
Charger running back.
Not Dalvin Cook. Was it James Cook?
No, was it Vidal?
No, it wasn't a Charger. I would remember that. It wasn't. I did bet on Hampton rush yard prop, but who the hell? Like, who's a running? Who's the? Let me just look at the top running backs.
Yeah, it could have been Monday then.
It's only a top running back I would do this with, right? So it might have been Cook with the Bills. But do we have a Bills game? No. Like, what game do we have?
Dallas. No.
Who did Dallas? Wasn't Saquon Barkley, because Barkley hasn't been putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Wow, first down Atlanta again. Kyle Pitts again, speaking of putting up big numbers.
Wow. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Let me check 2 weeks ago real quickly.
But anyways, that's why I didn't do it tonight. I got scared off. I'm like, these numbers are so damn sharp. Like, it's going to, I'll do. And then early in the game, Scott, I looked up. I'm like, damn, it's already 144.5. I can't bet that. But he's at 172 right now, so he's gone over. But what about Kirk Cousins? Boom, cash it. You cash it, I cash it. Hopefully people that were tuning in followed us on this. Kirk Cousins, 284. He's gone over his in-game numbers now.
Yeah. We did well with those. Whether it was Baker, at the halftime number, 248.
Baker's gone over.
272, or Kirk Cousins.
And I had Kirk Cousins over 207 to start the game. So we double dipped with Kirk. We hit the Baker. Nice little 3-0 with the QB props tonight.
Yeah. And he's going to, if you put it in even at 300 or 299.5 when it was that we were talking about, he's going to hit that. He's got 284 or 6.5 minutes, 7 minutes left.
I gave Ibuka over receptions at the, he was at 2 and it was 3.5. I gave it at the half. He's at 4 right now, so he gets there. But I also gave McMillan over 2, and he's still at 2 right now. So hopefully McMillan can get one more. We can't win every prop, but hopefully we can hit this one too.
It's better to be lucky than good, right? I had the over 17.5 yards Rashad White. I said, he's going to get the ball 7, 8 times.
He got it almost on one run, and he hasn't touched the ball hardly.
He hasn't touched the ball since. If you would have
told
me he was only having
since?
one touch this whole game, there's no way in the world, even at 17.5, I would do it. But
he must be hurt, Scott, or something. Like something
right?
must have happened. Like,
but they're still giving
I know they like Sean Tucker, but come on, Tucker's on the field all the time now.
Yeah.
And here we go again. Who's that? Was that Mooney? And then Mooney fumbles it. Oh, boy. Wow. This is where the point spread players, if you're on, depending on what happens in the scrum here, Atlanta
got it back?
It looks like it, yeah. Wow. Darnell Mooney caught the ball over the middle of the field, ran down to the 10-yard line, got lit up. Ball popped loose, and there was a battle for it. Like, there was a bunch of dudes fighting for the ball. It looks like Atlanta. Let's see. He's a small dude, Mooney, too, so he got smoked. He got smoked by 2 dudes. He sort of got spun around, and Buddy sort of just ripped the ball out of his hand. In typical Falcon. Remember we said we're waiting for the Falcon mistake, Scott? Like, it was like, there it is. There it is. Bijan Robinson fumbled before, too. But looks like they somehow got it back. I guess, what happens down there. Who knows?
Yeah, first and goal. The 10-yard line. Wow.
If they didn't, Scott, if they wanted to, like you said, okay, fine. They kicked the extra point before. Now you can go for 2, and it wouldn't be like, all right, we're going for, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
27-21, we're going for the win here, whatnot. You want to get aggressive, but now you force yourself to going for 2, and you don't get it. You're still losing despite scoring 2 touchdowns, like in the quarter.
That's the stuff that gets coaches fired, you know? When you're on a roll and things are going well.
Yeah, like, why would you do that?
Point conversion, but
I don't understand these modern coaches. And I hate even more when these younger analytical types like argue back with us, Scott, about how it was the right move. It's like, no, it's not the right move. A lot of metrics, like Greg Olson was going off about that. Like Sirianni did the right thing. It's like, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. You were down by 9 with 3 minutes left. The game was over because of this. Like, yeah, everyone would have been focused on defense and all fired up to get the ball back still.
Yeah. It's amazing. College basketball and NBA, and I hate it. All they talk about, extend the game, extend the game, extend the game. It's like, no, just shoot the 3. You're down 6 with 15 seconds left. Stop extending the game, right? But football, it's the opposite. It's kind of like, no, we want to win with 5 minutes left. No, just extend the game. Make it a 1-score game. And they
don't start thinking ahead too early. Like even Andy Reid fell for it the other night. 12 minutes left, going for it, like in his own, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, there's 12 minutes left. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's no time. Like, these coaches, like if you're Atlanta, you're losing the damn game. What are you getting cocky and thinking about, if we score again? You're a 4-win team. Just kick the extra point. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. You're not smarter than everyone else.
Yeah. 3rd and goal now. We'll let you know what happens when we come back. Don't normally happen.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing? And now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Wow, baseball, little nickname, moniker baseball, baseball of inches, game of inches, right? Football, same thing here, Gabe. They just ruled a touchdown for Atlanta on a Kyle Pitts, again, 3rd touchdown. And you talk, his butt hit like a half an inch.
The same time the elbow.
His elbow, which was out of bounds.
And they don't get the 2.
That is super close.
See, they don't get the 2.
They don't get the 2?
They don't get the 2. So, it could be 28-28 now, guys. Like, I don't understand why you do this, these teams. I don't, like, I'm on the Buccaneers, and I'm baffled by this. But it's like, like, Scott, like, the players deserve better almost. Like, they're playing their ass off in the fourth quarter. Interceptions. Kyle Pitts just made, like, one of the catches of the year. Kyle Pitts having the game of his career tonight. Point blank.
Yeah.
This is the best game of his career tonight.
Yeah. I doubt very much if he's had 3 touchdowns. And I doubt very much if he's had
one touchdown on the season coming into tonight.
Yards on the season. How many did he have last year? He might not have had 3 all of last year. Let me check real quickly. That would be funny.
Kyle Pitts.
That's Kyle Pitts. 4. He did have 4 last year. All right. He had.
So he's matched. Now he's up to 4.
Yeah. He's had 4 for the season. So he had 1 his rookie year, 2 his second year, 3 his third year. How about that? 4 his fourth year. And
who was his quarterback the rookie year? Who was the quarterback his rookie year?
What's his face? Wasn't it the whole?
Was it still Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan.
It was. It was 2021. Yeah, Matt Ryan was still around then. Yeah. Because look at this, Scott. Rookie year, 1,026 receiving yards. Second year, 356, 667, 602, 631. That's not a bust. So you 600 yards a year with Desmond Ridder, Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix. I think we're starting to see it's like maybe if he had a quarterback on a real team, he would put numbers up and he'd be a 1,000-yard guy.
You can't go from 1,000 your rookie year
with Matt Ryan, who's a stud quarterback, even at the end of his career, and he wasn't even good at the end. You know what I mean? And it goes to show he plays with a real quarterback. You got 1,000 yards.
Yeah. He had 10 games his next year, but only 356, so he's only on pace for 500 yards, and then 600, and then 600, and he's got 631 heading into today. Now he's got a semi-real quarterback who's playing like his old days, Kirk Cousins, and he's putting up monster numbers as the number 1 guy. So
we talk about one game sort of rejuvenating careers. I brought it up earlier. Baker Mayfield playing on 2 days, signing with the Rams, winning the football game. We kidded about Kirk Cousins extending his career with this performance tonight. Kyle Pitts. This is the type of thing when Kyle Pitts' contract or whatnot is up that other teams are like, man, we saw what he did that night on Thursday Night Football, right? Like, if you're going to do it, Scott, it's a good time to do it on prime time when the entire league is watching.
Yeah. This is his 5th year, so I'm assuming he's got to be a rookie at the end, he's got to be a free agent at the end of the season. So I don't think they gave him a contract extension outside of the.
And they're in a weird spot. Exactly. Like he hasn't put up here we go. Falcons have a Kyle Pitts contract decision to make. This is from right now, actually, 3 minutes ago from Sporting News. See, it's already like I'm thinking like I've been in the sports media a while, guys. Suddenly it's like, oh, Kyle Pitts. Like, what's his contract like? Other teams, look at what Kyle Pitts did. His contract's up. He's a free agent. What a time for him to throw it on the board tonight.
Yeah,
I exactly said before the game, too. I said, guys are playing for contract stats. Kyle Pitts, you think Kyle Pitts is happy and his agent is happy right now?
They're jumping for joy. The agent is
They'll say, forget about everything else. Look what he just did tonight. This kid can play. They'll say, he can play. You give him a quarterback. Put him on a team. And if I was Kyle Pitts, I'd want to leave Atlanta. I wouldn't even want to stay.
Oh, me too. Get me out of there, Not with that quarterback situation. They play one more time, prime time. They play the Rams at home Monday night.
Yeah, if he puts one more on the board on the way out,
That's now you're really. If he has a good game, let's say he has a really good game, not like this, you're not going to have this kind of thing. Let's say he goes for 80 yards and a touchdown next week at Arizona, which is possible, right? And then he's got the Rams one. I'd almost feign an injury. That's it. I'm done. You saw me the last 2 games.
Walk out. Walk out on the high note. Hey, I'm not getting exposed by the Rams here. We're going to lose 38-6.
Yeah. I'll get 2 passes thrown my way, and I'll have 1 yard reception, right? So,
but we're not even kidding. I mean, he's just guaranteed. He's just rejuvenated his career right now. Like everyone's like, oh my God, look what Kyle Pitts is doing, and he's a free agent. Right, it just sets up perfectly. So for other teams, and hey, you know what? Look what he did, and we can bring him in, depending on how much money he wants. But he's making himself some money tonight.
All right, Sampay's got the ball. They're up 2, which for teaser players, No, you're getting
real
half.
close.
I'm
5.5 plus 1.5. Yeah, but it's like if you did the 6, you're screwed, right? You got the half. Yeah, it's one of those. It matters. You know what I mean? Depending on what happened. No.
7.
No, let's say they kicked the field goal.
29-28.
Yeah, but let's say they just kicked the field goal hypothetically. Yeah, 29-28, you're good because it closed at 5.5. So 7-point tees, you got plus 1.5.
Yeah. I don't do 7 too often. I usually do 6.
The way I look at it, I don't like if I'm going to lay whatever, if it's, what 6 is like minus 140 nowadays at places for the most part, 130, 140. Yeah. I just figure if I'm going to do the 6, I'll just do the 7. Right? And the 7 is more of a key number all the time. This one was not. And tonight, you and I, we both broke the teaser rule, the sharp guy rule tonight. Here's some gambling 101. Exactly. Like people say, well, no, if you're going to tease, you want to get, we're not getting a key number of plus 1, plus 1.5. But, well, Mr. Sharp Guy, evidently we are. Because, let's just say Atlanta kicks a field goal, and that point matters, actually. Right? So, I only do that. I don't do it often, Scott. I prefer teasing like the dog more so, like than crossing over the 0, as you stated. But in certain instances, like tonight, we will. And a game we think the team could win but not cover. Yeah.
One thing about a 6-point teaser, and teasers are getting very expensive these days. Really,
yes.
It used to be just minus 120 old days, and then they bumped it 125, 130, and now you're right.
That's why you're better off same game parlaying it. A lot of books just let you do the total and the side, and you put it together yourself. You can get better odds.
Yeah. Well, approach to the 2-minute warning. Bucks catch the ball and see if they get a first down and close this thing out here in the break.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why, though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing and now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Well, welcome back in Game Live. We didn't have any scoring during the break, which is a rarity, but we've certainly had a change of momentum here. Tampa Bay needing a couple of first downs have gone. They threw the ball one time, got a first down, but then they run the ball a couple of times. They lost 4 yards, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 14 game with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. I mean, they don't get this first down. Falcons are going to get the ball back.
They're really giving this game back to them. Yeah, and it's 4th down.
You got to throw the ball.
Baker Mayfield gets sacked.
Wow.
Falcons defense, sack them. Now, like, you better get a good punt off here. This is where special teams comes into play. For real. Like, you better drill this and pin them, bro. Like, you get paid to do one job. Like, do it. You know, pin them inside the 10, the 5. Like, make Kirk Cousins go the length of the field here. And it is on grass. It is outdoors. So this isn't like automatic 60-yard field goal or something like that. But in the modern NFL, you don't have to go as far as you used to. Hell, the Dallas Cowboys just have to get to midfield. They get to the 50 in their game where they can kick a field goal. So the other teams, you get to the 40, you know what I mean, 45, and you got to punch your shot.
They're giving you the Falcons plus 162. They're going to get the ball deep in their own territory, right? And barring a nice little return. But you only need to get it to the teaser either, Scott.
I have them on the money line. I didn't do the let me see. You know what? Let me double check. I actually think I have it plus 1.5. Let me double check. Because I put together my own on this one. Yeah. Let's see. No, I got the Buccaneers on the money line.
Wow.
I got Buccaneers money line over 33.5. That's obviously long over. And I did hit the in-game over, but like, I need the Buccaneers to win. This is not good.
Wow. Me too. Boy, I was off to such a great start tonight. You know, I hit the Bucks team total. I hit the Rashad White on the first play of the game, basically. I was looking good teaser the whole way. And in the last 2 minutes, it's all falling apart. It's this dopey Bucks team. And they even had the Falcons give them the gift of going for 2. And they still
might not win. It's a crappy punt, too. Dude, like, what the hell is this? Like, are you kidding me? He kicked it to their 20-yard line only. And it was returned to the 30. It's like, bro, like, you just kick from your own 25. So 25 and 20. You basically just kicked it 45 yards. 50.
Most of these guys kick it 70. Most kick it 70 yards. 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage and then another 50.
With a game on the line type of punt, that's not we need a cannon here. Like I said, you needed to cannon this one.
Wow.
And they pick up a big first down, like right away. Big play. And in fact,
we're going to win.
Like, dear God, like, Scott, now this is so quick. Like, we're going to be like, we're going to have to get the ball back in Tampa to kick a field goal. We're going to have to try to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
We got 2
timeouts. Yeah. And Atlanta doesn't have any. So, you know, if he's a smart head coach, that's what you should do.
Keep them in bounds, but if you could get a sack, it would be massive because it would, you know what I mean? It would set them back and it would set, and right on cue, they get the sack.
47. Really?
They just went backwards and right on cue, Scott. I was just going to say, I swear to God, I couldn't even finish the sentence and they actually got the playoff. What just happened here? Wow. What the hell no way. No way. We said it earlier. We were waiting for the mistake.
What happened?
Let's see. Kirk Cousins fumbled the ball on the snap. Referees deciding whose ball it is.
Oh, my goodness. Poor Kirk
Ty goes to the runner. Oh, my God.
They're giving it back to the Falcons? Oh.
Dude, no way. No.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Is that really what's happening? Shouldn't the clock be rolling right now?
It is 2nd and 18. Yeah, what's up with the clock? Let's get that clock going. Yeah. All right, they did.
All right, this is still 2nd and 18.
Incomplete. Now oh, God, there's a flag now. What's the flag?
Oh, no.
Late flag. You got to be kidding me, ref. What are you guys doing? You already got your 3.5 hours of TV here. No, there's no need to extend this. All right, they're going backwards. They're going backwards.
All right, push it back. Take the penalty. I don't want 3rd and 15. I'd rather have 2nd and 25 or whatever it is.
The only thing, Scott, though, now we're losing our chance to come back almost. Like, you know what I mean?
The clock.
Like, now it's almost like, all right, we got to stop them because, like, you know, we still have the 2 timeouts. Atlanta are screwing this up pretty good right now, at least. Sack, fumble, penalty. Like, they're going backwards.
19 penalties now for 125 yards for the Falcons.
Oh, my God. That's on the coach. Oh, my God.
Yeah. We'll let you know what happens when we come back. We'll go anywhere.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing and now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, brother. We're watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers implode. They're going to lose this football game. 28-26. Welcome back. In-game live. Atlanta just had 3rd and 28. 3rd and 28. And Todd Bowles, defensive head coach, right, for the Buccaneers, couldn't stop the Falcons from getting a first down, Gabe. And now they
haven't used their timeouts. They only have 24 seconds left. Like, it's a disaster for Tampa. Like, you know what I mean? It was either let them kick the damn field goal, get the ball back, and then we'll kick a field goal, or it was like, we better get the stop. You did neither. And you haven't even used your timeouts that they're going to be kind of useless here. Like, you better use it after this play, but it's first down right now.
Boy, and there was a close catch on that 4th down.
Oh, it was a hell of a catch. Sills came up with a big catch. He had a big drop earlier that would have been a touchdown. He redeemed himself.
Yeah. They were fighting for the ball. If I was Tampa Bay, I would have called a timeout there. They got to the line and just, let them review it. He falls down. Yeah, I guess he had it.
The only thing you can do is block the field goal. And it's,
Yeah, 4 seconds left. That's it.
I can't believe this. And if I would have teased it, I got greedy. I didn't like the +1.5 number on the teaser. I was like, the Tampa's going to win. My whole point is Tampa's going to win the game, like crossing to 0 and stuff. I was like, I don't need the plus. I just wanted the money line anyways.
Right.
Mike Evans is freaking out on the sidelines. He's angrier than Todd Bowles is right now. This guy's not good. It's a 43-yard attempt. Now he ices him. He calls the timeout now. That's going to help.
Yeah, like that's really going to matter. 43-yarder. These guys have been standing on the sidelines the whole freaking game. What you think 1 minute
you let
timeout
the minute
really
and a half
matter?
off the clock, Tampa? Like, you should have used a timeout before, just so you said, all right, listen, worst case scenario, we save 30 seconds on offense, right? They saved nothing. They got nothing out of this.
Nothing.
If we're on Tampa, the only thing is Atlanta are cursed. They do find ways of screwing things up, but it's only a 43-yarder.
I hope you got the +160. If you want, FanDuel's still offering a number. +3-1 on Tampa Bay. You grabbed the +160 a moment ago. Now you take Tampa Bay, you walk away a winner.
They're still having up, eh, Rob? So, you're betting a +300 on the field goal. So they're giving us +300 that he misses the field goal, essentially.
Yeah.
We got a 3-1 shot that he misses.
What do you think? I think he makes it. They're going to win with 19 penalties. What's the most penalties in a game a football team has won?
The kick is
pretty
good.
close to it.
The Atlanta Falcons win 29-28.
Wow.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just a bunch of chokers.
And the Carolina Panthers, after week 15, will at worst be tied for first place. Right now, they're sitting in first place at 7-6 as Tampa Bay falls to 7-7.
The Buccaneers blew a 28-14 fourth quarter lead
at home.
Think about that. 28. They got outstanding 15 points. 50. They blew a 28-14 fourth quarter lead.
Yeah. Knowing that the other team had to score 3 times because of the dopey 2-point conversion. So it wasn't even but they came back and tied at 2 scores. No, you had 3 opportunities to run out the clock in essence, and they couldn't do it. Wow.
At least we did well with the props. It makes up for the side of the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, all right, but
for me as well, that's why I gave out the over points. I wasn't. I did give out the teaser. So, but I wasn't confident laying at 5.5. I wasn't going to do that. So at least for me, I got to split with the team total going over for Tampa Bay. But this should have been a really good day. Really good day. It should have been. I don't know how high the number was when they were down 14, but I'm guessing it was probably a good 8-9-1. I should have looked. I should have noticed. We were doing so many props. 29-28.
I didn't think Atlanta was going to come back, so it didn't really cross my mind. So,
yeah, they really did.
Wow.
It was just like, so you think about the Falcon wins this year, right? When everything is said and done, they beat Minnesota, okay, but Minnesota at the beginning of the year was different. They beat Washington, okay, but they beat Buffalo. I guess it's really not that good. The Buffalo one is the one. New Orleans and then Tampa Bay. So they maybe beat 2 playoff teams if the Bucs
Kyle
want to win.
Pitts, first tight end with 150-plus yards and 3 tight ends in a football game since Shannon Sharp in 1996.
Wow. How about that? 15 yards.
Talking about making himself some money.
Yeah.
Just did something
Robinson
that hasn't happened in the NFL in 31 years.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if you're an over player with these props, you hit tonight. Cousins goes over 373, touchdowns 3, that goes over. Attempts 44, that goes over. Robinson 93 yards, that went over rushing. Pitts obviously went over. Robinson receiving went over. Sills went over at 78. Baker went over 277. Irving 60. I think that he was in the 50s, I think. White had that 1 carry for 20 yards. I'll take it. Evans 6 for 132 went over. Ibuka 4 for 64 went over, yards-wise anyway. Godwin did not, 4 for 20. So there were a couple overs in there, but for the most part, overs hit.
It was a good in-game prop fest. The quarterbacks put up big-time numbers. And once again, we'll give it credit where, we were underwhelmed. I didn't hate this game. I wasn't like, oh, God, I kind of thought it would be close. So, but it turned into an entertaining football game despite the team's records. Our next primetime game that we do will be Monday night, the Miami Dolphins at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. In sub-freezing temperatures, and we all know about the Miami Dolphins in sub-freezing temperatures. 2 is yet to win when it's been freezing. The Dolphin franchise is like 10 and 30 when it's freezing temperatures. And it's supposed to be
there is a football game tomorrow night, too. There is a football game tomorrow night. We got an FCS playoff game tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern.
Ooh.
Stephen F. Austin plus 13.5 at Montana State.
Yeah. How about South Dakota State losing to Illinois State this weekend as 30-point favorites game? The number 1 overall seed lost at home.
It's wild.
Which is crazy enough. To Illinois State, which is really crazy. And now the whole FCS thing's all thrown into like flux and now anybody can win.
And now
so many times.
And now Illinois State have to go to the West Coast to play UC Davis on Saturday night. UC Davis are 2.5 point favorites. The total's 58.5. Feels like to me, I like UC Davis.
Yeah, right. I mean, this team just beat the mountains, and now they got to go on the road.
You're flying,
freezing. And
you went from freezing cold, now you're going to California. Now you're flying to the West, and now you're going to California against a high-powered offense of UC Davis.
Yeah. That might be the bet of the weekend,
And everyone's going to take Illinois. I did a podcast today, and one of my guests said Illinois State today. Everyone's jumping on Illinois State. I think it's like, no.
Good.
Not because they won last week. Like, look at Yale. Although Yale did cover. Yale came down. Remember, they were down 42-7 or whatever, 42-14 with 8 minutes left, and they won the game. They did cover last week. I'll give them credit, right? Mm-hmm. But they did lose the game. Like, it's hard to pull off these upsets back-to-back. And really hard in this FCS stuff, guys. You really are flying around everywhere. Like, these kids are, like, these are real road trips.
Yeah. And somebody's, the South Dakota states of the world, you're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere. And
you want bad weather games? Watch these FCS games, man.
Yeah.
It's all like farmers and like, it's like the fans look like hunters, Scott. Like, watch a Montana game. Everyone's got like camouflage hunter jackets on. Like, they're double fisting drinks in the freezing cold.
They're bringing their forks, their pitchforks are in the stands. They're all set. It's
hardcore, this FCS stuff.
Very hardcore. Very hard. And you don't get too many upsets. That's why I say that Illinois State thing is 30-point dogs is like, that doesn't happen, folks. I'd be shocked if they were to win.
Montana State are laying to 13.5. They're a tough team to beat at home, man.
Yeah, they are. David, I'll be here tomorrow night. Hopefully you guys will as well. In-game live. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.